Hi, and welcome back to our video series, My Sewing Lessons. Here you'll learn basic sewing techniques and try out useful tips for a step-by-step introduction to the world of sewing. During the 7 projects that we've gone over, you have surely realized that scrap fabric is practically unavoidable. So, in this video, we want to show you a clever option for using leftover fabric. These adorable scrunchies are very useful, very easy to sew, and they are the perfect gift as well. We are using the Burda B35 for the project again, which is a wonderful sewing machine for your very first projects. We are also using a lovely colorful scrap of cotton fabric from Sea Poly. In addition to the fabric, you will need thread to match the color, a tape measure, narrow elastic, a chalk wheel, a safety pin, hand sewing needles and straight pins, sewing machine needles, a set square, fabric scissors, thread snips, paper scissors, a tracing wheel, and tracing paper. First, select one of the 2 sizes for your scrunchie. The larger variant is somewhat broader and ideal for striking hairstyles. The small scrunchie is a bit more subtle and is perfectly suitable for a sporty ponytail. There is a paper pattern piece for the scrunchie, which you should cut out first. Helpful hint, for beginners, the larger one is somewhat easier to stitch. Next, place the scrap flat on the table with the right side, the outer side later, facing up. Place the pattern piece on the fabric and use straight pins to pin all around. To make the scrunchie, you will need seam allowances. The paper pattern piece only includes the finished width of the scrunchie, which is why we draw the allowances directly on the fabric. To do so, place a set square on the edge and use the chalk wheel to draw an outline on the fabric all around the paper pattern edge 1 cm or 3/8 of an inch from the edge. Use your fabric scissors to cut out the pattern piece along the chalk line. To help you to remember exactly where to stitch later, mark the seam line on the wrong side of the fabric. To do so, place a piece of soft fabric on the table and spread the tracing paper on top of it with the coated or colored side facing up. Place the pattern piece on it and lightly roll your tracing wheel around the paper pattern. This presses the color onto the fabric and marks the seam lines. The fabric will be folded later along the fold line at the center of the strip. This is why you also need to mark this line with the tracing wheel. Now you can remove the pattern piece from the fabric. And now it's time to stitch. Fold the fabric in half along the marked fold line and make sure that the right or the nice side is on the inside. Pin the edges using straight pins, which you insert through both layers of fabric and at a 90-degree angle to the selvage. When pinning, make sure that the marked seam lines on both sides match. Now you can prepare your sewing machine. To find out how to thread the machine and insert the needle, consult your sewing machine manual. Set a straight stitch and begin with 3 to 4 back stitches to secure the seam. Stitch along the marked seam line and secure the end with 3 to 4 back stitches. Now turn the fabric tube inside out. To do so, fasten a safety pin to one end of the fabric tube on the seam allowance. Insert it into the tube, guide it through the other side, and pull it out. This is how you turn a tube right side out. Now fold the seam allowance and one end of the tube to the inside. Fasten the safety pin to one end of the narrow elastic. Pull the elastic through the tube, making sure that the other end does not disappear inside. Now you can test the elastic to find out how wide your scrunchie should be. We made our scrunchies wide enough to perfectly fit around our wrist. That way, we can twist the scrunchie around a braid twice. Of course, you can adjust the width to meet your needs. Once you found the right length for you, tie the elastic ends together at that spot. Now you are almost finished. You only have to sew one seam. Push the folded end of the tube around the open end and use a few straight pins to fix it in place. Thread a needle and knot at the end of the thread. First, insert the needle at the seam and use small stitches to close the ends of the tube all around. The seam will be almost invisible if you alternately insert the needle into the folded edge and then insert it into the lower layer of fabric. And now you can wear your personal scrunchie. This is a very easy project that can be finished in no time at all, so it's perfect for practicing. And it's also sustainable since you can use any fabric scrap for a scrunchie. And that was the last video of our lessons for beginners. We hope you enjoyed your introduction to the world of sewing. We already look forward to accompanying you as you make your next project.